चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। बाबाजी व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्नं विराजितपदम्बुजं वेदान्तं भुजसूर्योय तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चैतन्य शाश्वत शान्तो व्योमतीतो निरञ्जनः बिन्दुनादकलातीता तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानशक्ति समावृता तत्त्वमाला विभूषितः भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्म सम्प्राप्ता कर्मबन्धविदायिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च जपनं सारसम्पदां गुरुपादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। न गुरोरादिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरादिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मनाता श्रीजगन्नाथा मद्गुरु श्रीजगद्गुरु ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुरादिरनादिश गुरुपरमधिगतं गुरुपरतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव। तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा। तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा। तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा। तेरा शरण में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा। Guru मेरे देवा तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा गुरुआ 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 स्वामिया 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 तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा मेरा नया पिया से तेरे दर्शन को आके दर्शन दो मेरे देवा तेरा नया पिया से तेरे दर्शन को आके दर्शन दो मेरे देवा मेरा नया पिया से तेरे दर्शन को आके दर्शन दो मेरे देवा मेरा नया पिया से तेरे दर्शन को आशादा मेरा देवा ओ आके दर्शन दो मेरा पारा प्रियतम दर्शन दो मेरा पारा प्रेमा आके दर्शन दो मेरे गुरु प्रियतम आके दर्शन दो मेरा पैरा तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाया मेरे देवा गुरुआ 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 स्वामिया 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 तेरे चरणों में फूल बिछाए मेरे देवा 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 ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिं पूजामूलं गुरुर्पादं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुर्कृपा ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिं पूजामूलं गुरुर्पादं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरु ओ ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिं पूजामूलं गुरुर्पादं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुर्कृपा ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिं पूजामूलं गुरुर्पादं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुर्कृपा श्री विश्वानंद गुरुदेवा प्रेमावतार श्री विश्वानंद गुरुदेवा Premavatara Shri Vishwananda Gurudeva 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 Premavatara Odhyanamulam Gurur Murtim Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa Dhanamulam Gurur Murti Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa Dhyanamulam Gurur Murtim Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa Dhanamulam Gurur Murti Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa Shri Vishwananda Gurudeva Premavatara 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 Shri Vishwananda Tere charanon mein phul bichhaye mere deva Tere charanon mein phul bichhaye mere deva Tere charanon mein phul bichhaye mere deva Om Avatara Shishaya Namah Om Vishamaya Namah Om Devakari Samadhyataya Namah Om Sushmatanave Namah Om Shimayaya Namah Om Gurumurtaye Namah Om Sundaraya Namah Om Sulakshanaya Namah Om Sumukhaya Namah Om Charvasaya Namah Om Keshavaya Namah Om Padmabhujaya Namah Om Mandagamanaya Namah Om Chamambaradharine Namah Om Ramaya Namah Om Mandir Sarpakaya Namah Om Shri Babashakaya Namah Om Gayatriyavane Namah Om Arpan Swikarakaya Namah Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namah Om Namo Narayana Madrapasakaya Namah Om Swaramayaya Namah Om Madhurkantaya Namah Om Krishna Sankirtana Lulupaya Namah Om Sotapriyaya Namah Om Itapashine Namah Om Vakmine Namah Om Shritakara Visharadaya Namah Om Vratadharaya Namah Om Sadave Namah Om Jagatpantaya Namah Om Sarvalokahitaya Namah, Om Bhakta Priyaya Namah, Om Sudaya Namah, Om Anukulaya Namah, Om Neyaya Namah, Om Sudarshanaya Namah, Om Bhakta Vatsalaya Namah, Om Premamurtaye Namah, Om Shubhakshanaya Namah, Om Pritivardhanaya Namah, Om Swastidayakaya Namah, Om Tarakaya Namah, Om Anugrahaya Namah, Om Vardhanaya Namah, Om Akshityaya Namah, Om Artyaya Namah, Om Siddhipradaya Namah, Om Janardhanaya Namah, Om Manoharaya Namah, Om Akshaya Namah, Om Siddheshwaraya Namah, Om Bhashmabhushitaya Namah, Om Atmalingaya Namah, Om Lingashana Proshakaya Namah, Om Siddhisadanaya Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah, Om Karupasakaya Namah, Om Sukshmaya Namah, Om Vishokaya Namah, Om Satvikaya Namah, Om Samadashine Namah, Om Dakshaya Namah, Om Achintyaya Namah, Om Nirankaraya Namah, Om Nirmohaya Namah, Om Avyagraya Namah, Om Jitakrodaya Namah, Om Vinayashilaya Namah, Om Savashaya Namah, Om Kushalaya Namah, Om Shamaya Namah, Om Satyadharmaya Namah, Om Nirvikalpaya Namah, Om Viraktaya Namah, Om Atindraya Namah, Om Syatasandaya Namah, Om Pavitraya Namah, Om Madhusvabhavaya Namah, Om Surandaya Namah, Om Nandanaya Namah, Om Prasanatmane Namah, Om Bhaktanidaye Namah, Om Sakshaye Namah, Om Samatmaye Namah, Om Sadayogine Namah, Om Haraye Namah, Om Sutapaya Namah, Om Somyaya Namah, Om Guyaya Namah, Om Vimutatmaya Namah, Om Gaviraya Namah, Om Guptaya Namah, Om Atmaramaya Namah, Om Srinivasaya Namah, Om Devaya Namah, Om Vyatidaraya Namah, Om Danyaya Namah, Om Gurave Namah, Om Vyaratikramaya Namah, Om Ganaya Namah, Om Bhagavate Namah, Om Harishalamagadaśvakaya Namah, Om Kutasvajagartakaya Namah, Om Abhiprayaya Namah, Om Savamata Samatyaya Namah, Om Shyamekata Bhavavardakaya Namah, Om Premavatara Sri Vishwananda Swami Namaha. Ato Deva Vantano Yato Vishnur Vichakrame Redivya Sapta Damapi Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Treda Nidade Padam Samudamasya Pagam Share Treni Pada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopa Ada Agya Ato Dharmani Dharyene Vishnu Karmani Pashyate Ato Vrtani Pashpase Indrasya Yujasakaha Tat Vishno Paramam Padagam Sada Pashanti Surya Divi Vachakshuratatam Tat Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagravagam Sasamindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. Premavattaraya vidmahe Satguru Devaya dhimahi Tano Vishwananda prachodayate. Om Premavattaraya vidmahe Satguru Devaya dhimahi Tano Vishwananda prachodayate. Om Premavattaraya vidmahe Satguru Devaya dhimahi Tano Vishwananda prachodayate. Govinda. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Bhurбhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurбhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurбhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketapare Narayana Achyuta Trivikrama Chakrapane Deityadi Sajadara Shridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam. Shri Rukmini Shabhavana Share Murare Radesha Gopesha Swarupa Bhamadya Vandya Shri Dwarakasya Vaikunta Pape Bhuvaneka Murte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam. Ninakrite Kamatarupa Varaha Murte Trivikramaya Guhane Brahurama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam. Govinda Madhava Makunda Parat Paresha Damodara Jadarinanda Kadari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Sambrata Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priyare Tava Suprabhatam. Chirabdishayin Bhujagadi Patalpashayin Sadbhakta Hitsadakashayin Ramangashayin Shri Gopabama Murdutalpa Sukhadishayin Gopavala Bahari Tava Suprabhatam. Shri Kasyapati Sukhanarada Gautamadi Brahma Shri Sangamani Sambhava Bharatesho Tishtanti Devata Vedashana Bhagya Heto Gopala Shekhra Haraye Tava Suprabhatam. Mandara Jadi Tulasi Dalamalika Malyani Anjali Pute Sambudaranti Tishtanti Tvatbhavatadaratale Munidraha Radha Manohara Hare Tava Suprabhatam. Vedatrayam Patati Gautamakaya Guya Gayanti Satguna Gano Varadasha Varga Sankirtayanti Tavanama Kada Visheshaha Shri Naradadi Rishaya Tava Suprabhatam. Govardhanodharana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Janamrita Suvesha Bravadipota Trilokya Mohana Sumangala Divya Deha Shri Rukminisha Varada Tava Suprabhatam. Shri Vatsashina Sharanagata Parijata Bhakta Tribanjana Kripakara Dina Bandho Diganta Gayati Jana Priya Divya Rupa Shri Nanda Gopatanaya Tava Suprabhatam. Padmaksha Padma Mukha Madhura Prameya Padmalaya Srahrita Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavati Surasevita Pada Padma Padmadinata Haraye
suprabhatam.
Vindhatale viharanaya mahendra vandya Kandarpadarpa retina sudesha rupa Chandrananaya siddha chandana libhya deha Govinda yadavaraye tava suprabhatam.
Shri Nandanandana Yashoda Kumara Gira Mayangadina Davichona Supushpahara Nilam Buddha Susharira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam.
Shri Bhakti Marga Satya Sukati Bhadra Shri Mitra Vinda Divasa Prabhu Purti Kadyahe Tishtanti Divya Bhavameta Vasevanadam Gopi Mana Priyaraye Tava Suprabhatam. Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananta Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapane Namani Divya Munayona Nishambaranti Vyami Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam.
Shri Krishna Suprabhatam Ye Patanti Arnisham Bhuri Krita Mahapapam Shri Krishna Grahituka.
Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Sintamane Prakarasama Sukalpa Vriksham Laksha Vritesha Sarabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kvanantam Aravinda Dhanayatacham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gandharpakoti Maniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandra Kala Sattvanamanya Vamsi Ratnangadam Pranaya Keli Kala Vilasham Shyamam Tribangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Anganyasya Sakalendriya Vrityamanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sajujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitamachyutam Anantam Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlam Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manaso Muni Pungavanam Sopyasti Yat Prapadachimya Vichimpya Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ekopya Sorachayatum Jaganta Kotim Yachastirasti Jaganta Chayayantaha Andatarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yadbhava Bhavita Diyo Manujasta Deva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Bhushaha Shuktiryameva Nigama Pratitestuvanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami आनंद चिन्मय रस प्रतिभाविताभिः ताभिर्य एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत् किलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि प्रेमाञ्जनाचुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं शम्भुसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रामार्दिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोद्भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णस्वयं समभवत् परमं पुमह्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्य प्रभवतो जगन्तकोटि कोटिष्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतवीनं तत्प्रमनिष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि माया यस्य जगन्तसतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतत्विषयवेदवितायमान सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वविशोधसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसत्मतया मनश्शु या प्राणिनां प्रतिपलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयात सहस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोलोकनं निजदं नितलेशतस्य देवी महेशारिदामशुतेषु तेषु ते प्रभावनि चया विहितशयेन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधनशक्तिरेका चायेव यस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य सचेषते सा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि क्षीरं यथा दधिविकारविशेषयोगात् सञ्जायते न हि तथा प्रत्यास्येतो यः सम्भूतमपि तथा समुपैति कार्यात् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपाश्चिरेव दशन्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विविधयेषु समानधर्मा यस्तादृगेव ईश विश्रुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यः कारणर्वणजले भाति स्म योगा निद्राम् अनन्तजगन्त सरोमकूपा आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परं स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यश्चैकनिश्वसितकालमतावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमबिलजा जगन्तनाथा विष्णुर्महंसैः यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि बाष्पं यतस्म सकलेषु निशेषु तेषां स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयाप्यपि तत्त्वात्र ब्रह्म यस्य जगन्तविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यत्पादपालवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगनादिराजः विघ्नं विहन्तुमलयस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्महि गगनाम्बुमरुदिशश्च कालस्ततात्ममयसिद्धिजगत्त्रयानि यस्माद्भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यक्षस्तुरेषु सविता सकलाग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेषतेषः Yasyajnaya Brahmati Samvrata Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Dharmota Papani Chayastrutayastapamsi Brahmadikita Patagavadayasa Jivaham Yadata Matra Vibhava Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasvindra Gopamata Vendra Mahosma Karma Bandhana Rupa Palabhajana Matanoti Karmani Nirdayata Kintu Shabati Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yam Krodha Kama Sagraja Pranayati Biti Vatsalya Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Bhavahe Sanchitya Tasya Sarashintanura Parete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Om Agnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jagadev, good morning. So, in chapter 11, canto 2, of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sage Narada visits Vasudeva. He visits the father of Lord Krishna. And Vasudeva asks Narada, he says, "My dear Lord, you are always true to your vow. Please instruct me clearly so that by your mercy I may easily free myself from material existence, which is full of many dangers and keeps us constantly bound in fear." And so, like many stories in the Bhagavatam, this starts a conversation between Sage Narada and Vasudeva. And Narada instructs Vasudeva on many beautiful things, ways to live, how to serve the Lord, and it goes on for many chapters. So then in chapter 5, canto 11, chapter 5, verse 49, Sage Narada says this to Vasudeva. Mapyata buddhim ekta Krishne sarvatmani svare maya manusya bhavana gudes varye pade vyavye. The translation is, do not think of Krishna as an ordinary child, because he is the Supreme Lord, inexhaustible and the soul of all beings. The Lord has concealed his inconceivable opulences and is thus outwardly appearing to be an ordinary human being. So now you have the context, yeah? He's saying to the father of Lord Krishna, don't be confused that your son is an ordinary child. Do not think of him as an ordinary child, because he's not. Even though outwardly he appears to be. So who can we relate this to? Very easily. Guruji. And so I was thinking about this yesterday, and I remember that I wanted to talk about this for a while, which is, for me, very relevant, but I think also important for us to hear as well, which is, it can become very easy that we think of Guruji as an ordinary human being. Human beings are very, very good at assimilating to situations. What I mean by that is adapting, right? We're very adaptable creatures. Things that used to have an emotional impact on us, like the first day of school, for example. I remember one of the first days of school, I think I was going to like grade 5 or grade 6, something like this. I was super nervous and uncomfortable, anxious, right? First day of school after summer break. I'm like 10 years old, 11 years old. Given me to school. I mean, summer break, 2 months feels like a lifetime when you're that old. And then all of a sudden I have to go back to school. I was super anxious. But then 1 week passes, back at school, 1 month, 2 months. That anxiety is not there anymore. I've adapted. Things that were once anxious to me, made me feel anxious or uncomfortable or however it might be. You adapt, you adjust. There's so many extreme examples of this. If anybody's lost somebody very close to them, like many of you know, I lost my father when I was 18 years old. It was an incredibly difficult experience, but eventually you adapt. You have to adapt. You have to keep living, right? So human beings are very, very good at doing this. And so I was thinking, somehow it can become similar also with Guruji. And I think I was thinking about this one day because there was a message sent on whatever group, or I saw somebody in passing. Oh yeah, this Guruji materialized a ring for this person. Oh, cool, nice, let's look at it. That's a nice ring. Wow, yeah, looks like this other ring that I saw, or nice color, na-na-na. Cool, nice, ciao. Whereas the first time that I spoke with the devotee, they were telling me about their experiences with their guru. I had no idea who Guruji was. I didn't know anything about anything. They were telling me about that he had materialized them rings. They were telling me about it. I was completely blown away. Then when I met him, some year or year and a half later, and he finally materialized a ring for me. I remember I was at a devotee's house. It was just a normal house. He had a room in the back, and then there was a living room and a dining room close to the living room. And I remember there were some people kind of around. Guruji was inaugurating a temple. And I was like completely stunned, right? Blown away at what had just happened. And I went and sat at the dining room table. There were like 3 or 4 people around. And I think I was just like, my face was just white. And one of the devotees looked at me and said, you look like you just got a ring. And I was just like freaking out. It's just like looking at my finger, looking at the ring, looking around, like didn't know what to do with myself. Couldn't believe what had just happened. Right? I was shocked, completely shocked. And fast forward 10 years. Oh, cool, you got a ring, nice. Yeah, another one got a ring. Right? I've adapted. I've adjusted. The first time that I came here in 2015 was the first event that I ever attended, that I was ever here in SPN, that I ever was with Guruji, was Shivaratri. Right? Also completely insane, especially the first thing, I think it was even less than 1 month or maybe 1 month after I arrived here, from this 20 years of life on the outside, not knowing anything. All of a sudden I'm in Germany. I'd never been out of North America before, didn't know anything about Guruji, Hinduism, Vaishnavism, etc., etc. Now all of a sudden I'm here, and this guy is materializing lingams. I was completely and utterly amazed, shocked, all of these things, right? And now, not as much. This last Shivaratri would have been my 10th Shivaratri that I've been with Guruji. And so I've adapted. And it's not to say that we should all be ungrounded and be freaking out or not know how to act in front of Guruji, because often he doesn't want that, right? And this is one of the most beautiful things to me about Guruji, or even about Lord Krishna, right? Is that he is simultaneously a simple cowherd as well as the supreme, inconceivable Lord of the entire universe and beyond. He's both of those things. Both of those things are equally true. Right? He incarnated to be with his devotees in a simple way. And Guruji is always teaching us this. It's not that he wants something complicated from us. It's not that he wants us to be freaking out in his presence. No, he wants this simple relationship. So it's a tricky thing to talk about, yeah? Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But for me, it's important to remember what this verse is saying also, right? That he isn't ordinary. Because if you go too far in one direction or the other, right? If you go too far in the direction that, oh my God, I can't get over the fact that he's the Supreme Lord, he doesn't want that. Then you're incapable of having this human connection easily with him. And if you go too far in the other direction, you get too used to everything, you would have adapted too much easily, and then things become things that used to be the most insane things, that still are, actually. But they become very ordinary. We get used to them, right? Humans are super, super good at this. And so we have to find somewhere in the middle of these two extremes. Being human, having that simple relationship with him, but also appreciating, right? And never forgetting who he is. It's both of these things. But for me, often I think personally, I go too far in the direction of mundane, used to it. And for me, it's important to remind myself of some of these stories and things, experiences that I had, ways that I used to feel, and remind myself how actually just insane it is, who he is, how incredible some of the things that how he is, things that he can do, right? That no other human being can do. I remember, I think in 2017 or 18, just to give another small little anecdotal story about how amazing Guruji is, and also how he also plays into that role of diminishing how amazing he is, right? I've told this story, like when he materialized the ring to me, it's just very casual, right? He's also not making a show. So he plays into the feeling of just be casual about it. It's nothing special. I'm nothing special. Nothing special is going on. He for sure plays into that. But I think also, at least for me, this is also, he's watching also. It's a test also. how much do you accept that and just, you know what, it's all just ordinary, and you forget actually how amazing it is. Like when he first made the first ring that I have, super casually, just sitting on the bed, made it, gave it to me. I don't even think he said anything, just kind of went on his phone. And I was like, all the blood drained from my face, and I was like freaking out. And he's just like on his phone. Yeah, here you go. So 2017-18, I asked Guruji one day in the bungalow, in his home. There used to be a chair near the dining room and big armchair. And by this armchair, there was a picture of Kamakshi Devi on the wall, hanging on the wall. And this is only relevant later, but just so you know, it's there. And I asked Guruji, why? I think we might have even just come back from Mauritius. And in Mauritius, if you know his room and you know the story of when he's a kid, yeah, there was vibhuti, there's ash, there's kumkum, there's all these different things that were materializing when he was young. He used to go and sit in meditation, and he would be covered in vibhuti when he was a young teenager. Or things would just be materializing underneath his bed. There were all kinds of crazy things happening in his room when he was young. And still, his room is kept in that way, right? There's oil materializing, there's vibhuti, there's kumkum, there's all of these things happening in his room still. So I asked Guruji, it's weird now because you live here, and this was happening constantly when you were young. All of these things materializing around you and in your room. Why does that not really happen here? You know, why there isn't constantly vibhuti manifesting everywhere? In everybody's room, oil, all of these things. Why? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Huh? You're here. No? And he said two things. He said, why should all of these things happen when I live here? Right? So do you understand what he means when he says that? Yeah. Why should all of these miracles be happening around when I am here itself, the biggest miracle itself? I live here. I'm here. Then also he said, and it's a big mess. I don't like cleaning up that mess. It's a big pain. So, okay, nice. The next day, went to the bungalow for lunch or in the morning or whatever. I opened the door immediately, the bungalow, and Guruji says, "Hey, you, look what you did. Look what's happened now. Your fault." And he's like, has the vacuum out, and the picture of Kamakshi Devi is completely covered in kumkum. Like, thick. And it's falling on the chair and on the white carpet. And so this episode takes place where Guruji's like, I don't care about this. Look what you did. You made this big mess all over the... Look, now you made this question. Now look what happened. And he's vacuuming up the kumkum on the carpet in the chair, super upset. And like Aniruddha and I think Revati and some other people are there. And we're like, no, Guruji, trying to like hold him back, you know, trying to save as much of this precious kumkum as possible. He's like, get off me. Let me vacuum this up. Look at this big mess on my white carpet. So, again, right, very casual, like it's just a mess. But like it's... I started a conversation with ChatGPT just this morning, actually, because I was like, yeah, I don't know, I just need some perspective. And I said to ChatGPT, let's assume that there's a person that can... Well, first I asked it, well, how is it even physically possible that you can materialize something from nothing? And ChatGPT said, maybe theoretically, but completely practically not possible. I started getting into a conversation about physics with ChatGPT. And eventually I said, assume, Mr. ChatGPT, I want you to assume that there's a man that can materialize things. So assume that that's true. And let's talk about that. And the response from ChatGPT, I think ChatGPT might become a devotee because the conversation is very funny. And at one point he says, I don't know if ChatGPT is a he or not actually, but ChatGPT said, "That's honestly one of the most fascinating and strange things I've ever heard. And I say that as someone who's heard a lot of wild things." So ChatGPT is similarly astonished by Guruji and has helped me also remember how astonishing Guruji is. So the point of this, I think, somehow is more for, well, it's for me to talk about and to remind myself, but for all of us, if you ever find yourself, right, taking Guruji as an ordinary human being, because he will try and trick you into thinking that, right? Like these so many examples we have. He's very, very casual, right? He doesn't give great importance and reverence to himself, who he is, what he can do. That's why also it's so important and amazing specifically to hear him when he gives commentary on the Guru Gita. Yeah. Because it's so rare that he pulls back that curtain of who he is, who the Guru really is, right? It's so, so rare. But when he sits and has to give commentary on the Guru Gita and read those words and expound on that which is in the Guru Gita, about the Guru, about the inconceivableness, the vastness, the divinity of the Guru, then it's amazing, yeah, to listen to that. But that's very, very rare, right? Normally he does not pull the curtain back on these things. And so, again, if we ever find ourselves, right, thinking of him as to be ordinary or forgetting, right, taking the things kind of for granted, yeah? It's not that we go and have to be ungrounded, start freaking out. Oh my God, you have a ring. Ah! You just keep it in the back of your mind. How inconceivably amazing that is. How amazing he is. And like this verse, right? This is why I picked this verse, right? Because he's also talking. It's important to understand the context, yeah? Sage Narada is talking to the father of Krishna, the one who is one of the closest, has one of the closest relationships, or a very specific relationship, where he thinks of him, or he may think of him as an ordinary child, right? And to some degree, he has to also, and that's also the relationship that Krishna and Vasudeva have. There's a reason for that. But Sage Narada sees also this and says specifically, do not think of your son as an ordinary child. Right? And he says, the Lord has concealed. Remember that he has concealed his inconceivable opulences. I love this specifically. His inconceivable opulences. And is thus outwardly appearing to be an ordinary human being. But do not be fooled. Always have that appreciation, that reverence, that understanding behind the relationship that you have with Guruji, as much as it also needs to be that human relationship that he's also longing for, that simple human relationship. hopefully eventually becomes divine, but yet it's still through this vessel of humanity that it becomes divine. But don't let it become ordinary. Don't let it become mundane. And for me, and I think many of us, don't forget also how it was, how it felt when we first came and we first started experiencing these things with Guruji and how he is. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Kara ಕರ ಕಮಲವರೇ ನಕಾಮಧುತ ಶೃಂಗ ಕಲಿತ ಹಿರಣ್ಯ ಕಶಿಪು ತನು ಭೃಂಗ ಕೇಶವತೀತ ನರ ಹರಿ ರೂಪ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಕೇಶವತೀರ್ಥ ನರ ಹರಿ ರೂಪ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ನರ ಹರಿ ರೂಪ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಯ ನರಸಿಂಹದೇವ್ 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 ಜಯ ನರಸಿಂಹದೇವ್ ಜಯ ನರಸಿಂಹದೇವ್ ನರಸಿಂಹದೇವ್ ಜಯ ನರಸಿಂಹದೇವ್ ಜಯ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ್ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಭಕ್ತ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಜಯ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ್ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಜಯ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ್ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಜಯ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ್ ಜಯ ಜಯ ಗುರುದೇವ್ 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 ಜಯ ಜಯ ಗುರುದೇವ್ ಜಯ ಜಯ ಗುರುದೇವ್ 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 ಜಯ ಜಯ ಗುರುದೇವ್ ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಶ್ವಾನಂದ ಗುರುದೇವ್ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಶ್ವಾನಂದ ಗುರುದೇವ್ ವಿಶ್ವಾನಂದ ಗುರುದೇವ್ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಶ್ವಾನಂದ ಗುರುದೇವ್ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಯತಿರಾಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಯತಿರಾಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಯತೀಂದ್ರಾಯ ಕರುಣಾಕರಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಯತೀಂದ್ರಾಯ ಕರುಣಾಕರಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಪ್ರಭಾತಿ ಧರ್ಮೈಕರತಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಪ್ರಭಾತಿ ಧರ್ಮೈಕರತಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಯತಿರಾಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಯತಿರಾಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಶಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಶಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ತ್ರಿದಂಡದಾನಿನಿ ಗೋದಗ್ರಜಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ತ್ರಿದಂಡದಾಯ ಗೋದಗಾಯ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ಯತಿರಾಜ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ಮಂಗಲ ಮಂಗಲಮೇ ध्यावे पर पावे दुख बिनसे मन का स्वामी दुख बिनसे मन का सुख संपत्ति करावे सुख संपत्ति करावे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता तुम मेरे शरण गो मैं की सखी स्वामी शरण गो मैं की सखी तुम बिना और न दूजा तुम बिना और न दूजा आस करो मैं की सखी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम्हारा अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो बरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विध मिलो दयामय किस विध मिलो कृपामय तुमको मैं कुमति ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीन बंधु दुखार्ता तुम्हारा शक मेरे स्वामी तुम्हारा शक मेरे करुणा बताओ शरण पदा तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पापारो देवा स्वामी पापारो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा प्रेम बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे तन मन धन सब है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा तेरा तुझको अपन तेरा तुझको अपन क्या लगे मेरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट जाने दो जाने ओम जय जगदीश हरे हरे चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी मन चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी ओ चाकर राखो चाकर राखो चाकर राखो जी चाकर राखो चाकर राखो चाकर राखो जी माने चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी श्याम माने चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गोविंदा माने चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव गोविन्द Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om. Prem se bol Sri Lakshmanarayan Bhagavan ki, Prem se bol Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Mandir Bhagavan ki, Prem se bol Sri Radha Krishna Lal ki, Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki, Sri Matar Kriya Babaji ki, Sri Ramanujacharya ki, Prem se bol Satgurudeva Sri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki. Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavallabhaya Paraya Parama Purushaya Parakarma Mantraya Tatantra Usadasa Sastani Samara Samara Mritur Muchaya Muchaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sudarshanaya Viti Jala Pritaya Sradikshman Pak Parashme Parabrahmane Paramrishye Swaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Sham Venkataramana Govinda, Gopika Jivan Smaran Govinda, Bhaktavatsala Govinda, Govinda Govinda Govinda, Pundalika Varade, Eknath Namdev, Bandarinath Maharaj ki, Samasa Bhakta Mandali ki, Alvar in Perumana, Tirvarikalaye, Sharana.